at this point, I want to bring in the person who exposed me to this, taught me about this, because he did, tell me about it, and I was completely blinded to it until, again, we're open-minded, like I started the show with. We're beginning now to open up new roads, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, that the yellow brick road has been destroyed. We're all there just sitting around and saying, we don't know where to go. And I guess beautiful timing. The universe works perfectly and God works perfectly. And Peter, he talked about me about this, and the more I'm looking into it, it's really incredible. So definitely, everyone, I'd like to introduce the great Peter Roth here on the show. Peter, you're on the show.
Thanks. I appreciate you labeled me.
Yes, rightly so.
We were all designed in ways that we're meant to be. Mm-hmm. And certainly I'm grateful that I'm meant to be somebody who can have a radio show and know human design and be mm-hmm. appreciated for it. And so I'm glad that you do. So glad to be on your show.
No, I've known about you for years. You've done your show on WBAI, now on PRN, and great shows. I mean, if people definitely go back on the archives, and it's all there. Everyone, we have the technology now. We can go back anywhere in the archives and everything, and you can look at all the great guests. I mean, Peter, you say you've been at this now in your show like 11 and a half years, and all kinds of incredible topics, huh?
Well, yes, I am really proud of that. And mm-hmm. actually, I got my start around 40 years ago on the Gary Null Show.
Wow.
In the early days, even before he was on WBAI, he was on WMCI. Mm-hmm. And I remember that studio. And I was on his show, probably 2 or 3 hours a week in the 70s and early 80s. So I cut my teeth then, and I'm so grateful to Gary for giving me the platform to feel my Wheaties as a radio show, not only guest, but also a host, because I also took over his show a lot in those days.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, definitely we all owe an incredible debt of gratitude towards Gary. I mean, he is, an incredible person out there, and I did do a show with Gary too. If you guys want to listen to Living Foods, which was really good about energy. But again, all of us, he incredible archives out there, of actually, helping people, and we happen to be all part of this. So, and it seems like all this is all part of our human design, and I want to talk to you about that, Peter, because again,
sure,
me not knowing human design, because I really don't follow up on stuff. I just stay quiet until things come to me, and then that's where I learn about it and become it. So again, a lot of this stuff I didn't know about human design, and how you introduced me to it. It's really amazing, because it would have helped me in my life journey, especially.
Well, what I heard from you earlier, and that really struck a note, was that the yellow brick road isn't there anymore.
Yep.
And so there are a lot of bricks lying around now. Not they don't even make sense that it's a road anymore. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're yellow anymore, because we're all the world is in chaos right now.
Yes.
And so what we can really fall back on is the roadmap of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Because that's always going to be true.
Mm-hmm. Well, saying that, Peter, you know what? That's what I wanted to say, is that I wasn't aware about this human design and stuff, and looking back at my life, I'm 55 now, and I've been an entrepreneur on my own since my 20s, and definitely, if I would have known about this, I definitely would have cut out 20 years of my life of wasting my time.
Me too.
Yes. I mean, this is horrible that, that we have this knowledge, and I would have cut at least 20, 25 years of wasted time and be more where I'm at. But again, this is just, I guess, you know what, Peter? I guess it boils down to this, right? We go to school. You go to kindergarten. You go to high school, and you go to college. If some of us make it to college, but when you're done, they don't give you your own manual about yourself, even at kindergarten. They should give you a manual about yourself.
Well, the thing is it is a manual that was written at birth, and we're living it out. And our job is really to be true to ourselves according to the manual. And luckily now we have a manual for it that we can read, and it instructs us about who we are. It doesn't change anything because we are who we are. We've always been who we are. But it gives us the language about ourselves. It explains us to ourselves in a way that we can really understand ourselves so much better, and then create strategies and purposes. This tells you what your purpose in life is. It really explains you in such a way that you're comfortable being who you need to be in every way. I mean, this doesn't pull any punches. It really helps you know why you're who you are, and in all of the drama of your life also. And it's not a mistake that we think the way we do and behave the way we do. That's all in our manual. It's just that when we're confused about it, we can be very unhappy about ourselves. But when we're more confident about who we are and realize the truth of who we are, then we're just inspired to be the best that we can be.
Well, you know what, Peter? It's kind of scary that you're saying that because, again, that's what this system is, human design. And look at what's going on in our society with all the drugs and all the, people disconnecting themselves from reality because they're completely lost. I don't know where I'm going and stuff, so let me just destroy myself by eating, by smoking, by drinking, by doing now drugs, and look at it, and more importantly, look at our kids. A lot of these kids are all hooked up on painkillers and evolving.
I can tell you, though, that there was a woman who came to see me one time whose son was an addict. And she wanted to know from his human design why he was an addict. And he had one trait of the many traits that we have that showed up 3 times. It's very hard to have a trait that shows up 3 times. Very few people have that. Some of us have traits that show up twice, and you do actually have one trait that shows up twice. And when a trait shows up 3 times, you really have to pay super attention to it. And so that trait that her son had was the trait of, if his individuality isn't respected by others, he'll self-destruct and become an addict. And I looked at her and I said, well, okay, so he's an addict, and he has a chart that says he can become an addict if he's not respected for his individuality. So what are you doing in that regard? And she said, no, we have very strong plans for him and who he needs to be, and we're insisting on him growing into the mold that we want for him. And that sounded so limited, it was ridiculous, but she meant it, and that's how she felt about it, that she had plans for her son. And obviously that was driving him to addiction.
Yeah, because how can, we're all subject financially and also supportively to our parents. And if our parents want us to go a certain way, and that's not what we're designed for. That's not what we are. Let's go to the reality. Look, my parents is forcing me to become a doctor, and my parents are paying all this money, tens of thousands of dollars, and ton of hours to try to educate me and push me and stuff. And then I have to just go along with this because they're paying for it. I know it's expensive, and I know the outcome will be good. It will be, I'll make good money. I'll help people and stuff. But realistically, no. I'm a musician. I want to play the flute. I want to play the guitar. My heart is a musician, or I want to be a writer. It had nothing to do with doctors, but again, that would drive me crazy because you have the thing with your parents that are forcing you, because then you feel obligated, and then you're trying to go down that road, and it's totally not you. So the only escape I can see is just let me go get drunk and drugged up.
Well, no, that's if it's in that person's design for that strategy. Not a conscious strategy; it's an unconscious strategy. But we have all different. We're all designed differently, so many of us would have a different strategy of dealing with that.
Okay.
That might just be to confront the parents and say, I'm not doing that, or who knows what else that we might create because we're designed to create those different strategies.
Oh, nice.
So it's good to know how we're designed so that we can. It's easier for us to develop our strategies when we know what we're designed for, what the plan should be for us to behave accordingly.
Well, yeah, makes sense. And again, I'm just looking at, what is going on now. Everyone's just lost. People are just doing drugs, and people are drinking more.
No, I mean there are a lot of people that are really holding the fort in their own way, and they're frightened, but they have purposes. My two sons are growing up well, and they're really on purpose, and they don't, they're very upset and discouraged about what's going on in the world, but they're staying true to their goals, and it's wonderful to see.
Yeah, but again, you're open-minded to this. You're a conscious human being that are aware that we have to give this kind of support and helping. And again, realistically, besides us, and I myself am like that, and most of us probably on listening that listen to these shows, like I said, we're the crazy ones. We're the black sheep. We're the messengers. Go kill the messengers. But I said that at the beginning of the show. I've been saying it over and over again, that we have been right, and we are right. So now the people that are kind of lost or asleep or wakening up, it's time for us to help them. And there it is, how you help your family, immediate family, and besides the thousands of other people that you have helped yourself personally through consultations and all this, through your through what you do, plus probably the probably tens of thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of people you have helped through your radio shows and everything you've done. So yes, it's nice being kind of a messenger and kind of being right now. People at least are saying, "Wow, let me listen to that."
Yeah, I'm so grateful for the opportunity, for the vehicle, to help people know what's going on within themselves and in the world out there too. Some recent shows are really right on the point about where the world is at and why it's there and where it's headed, and I'm so glad to be able to convey that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I'm also really glad to talk with you about human design because I know that it really had an impact on you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I did my show like I talked about at the beginning. I did my show on astrology, which is really incredible. And it's a great start. I said astrology is good for timing and relationships and kind of knowing yourself. But then there's other aspects. Can we talk about that, Peter? Let's talk about, astrology has a chart. And I know that I have my chart through human design. Can you talk to people about that? How does it work? What do people need to find out about human design? And what is
interesting. that you kind of cut your teeth with astrology. My wife is an astrologer, and she says human design is astrology on steroids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and you certainly appreciate that.
Yes.
And it is a kind of astrology because it works with your birth data. It works with the position of the planets
mm-hmm.
in the sky, and it combines it with the position of where the hexagrams of the Chinese I Ching have been positioned around the sky. Now, for a lot of people that they don't know what I'm talking about, but there's an ancient book of wisdom called the I Ching from China, thousands of years old, and it's broken up into 64 parts, and each part is a different concept of life. And each of the 64 parts are made up of what's called a hexagram, which are 6 horizontal lines, one on top of another, and each line is either a solid line or a broken line. It's either a yang line or a yin line. And so when you have 6 lines and each line can be a yin or a yang, you can have patterns that mathematically you can only have 64 different patterns of those 6 lines. So there are 64 hexagrams, and so they each have a different life concept. And the genius of this system that was channeled into a man, he had a normal English name, and then they told him when they channeled it in, we're changing your name to Ra Uru Hu. So he became Ra. And he received this information mostly over 8 days. It was downloaded to him, and they said, just take notes, and we're going to talk to you for 8 days. And this voice, and you know about it. You actually watched a video of Roth talking about it. Mm-hmm. That he received this whole system,
which was encounters of the voice.
Yeah,
people can go. Yeah, I always talk about YouTube, and people should definitely go do the research and look. We'll put this up on the website and stuff as well, so people can look at it. Yeah, it was amazing. It wasn't that long, but everyone, like what Peter's saying, this is something that this person, a regular normal person,
he was an innocent guy, and he didn't know much of any of this. I don't think he knew about the I Ching or about chakras.
Nothing,
because this uses chakras also, and
we
talked to him, and it actually took him about 5 years before he introduced it to the public because he needed to understand what they gave him.
Process.
And then he taught it for many years. I studied with him. He was an
by the way,
Peter, guy.
Peter, by the way, I'll share this with my audience. I'm a person that don't take things at face value. I have to look at it. I do my research, and I'm very skeptical. And by the way, my human design says that about me, and it's pretty amazing that it kind of makes me for what I am.
You're a challenger.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to see this guy, which is amazing to me, everyone, that here's a person, normal person, kind of almost like a bum, really. He was just out there, going through. He went to this place, I think out in Europe or something, and it was a room.
He was on the island of Ibiza in the Mediterranean off of Spain.
Off of Spain,
and,
yes.
And he was an expatriate Canadian living there, kind of, as
an island,
just a kind of wandering around. Yeah. He was a teacher. He was teaching there. I think he was tutoring kids or something like that.
But this is what I wanted to say, Peter, is that, and to the audience, again, I'm skeptical, which all of us should be. Don't think of something and just go to Google and have Wikipedia tell you the answer. No, I said that a million times. You have to look at least at 10 or 15 other sources and come out with some maybe half of the truth. That's just the reality, so people have to do their research. It ain't something, or have incredible people like Peter and some of my guests and even myself, we kind of done the homework and then maybe take it at face value and then look into it, which is a pretty good source. So here's a person that something came into him, channel, or went inside his spirit, and he started for 8 days. All this, and you can read the story. There's called Encounters with the Voice. It's there on YouTube, and it's actually him talking, saying what happened to him. And I'm looking for all the things that are not true, what he's lying, what kind of things is he trying to scam us? This guy just out there saying, "Oh, no, I couldn't see any of that." This guy actually did experience that from my point of view, and this person got downloaded huge information. I'm pretty smart, and this stuff is a lot of information that I don't know how to, and he himself says it as well, that he doesn't know. And it's amazing that he has all this, like Peter just said, that it took him 5 years. I guess it's downloading all this incredible information because, again, it's unbelievable.
Nobody could have figured it out.
No. Exactly.
Nobody could have understood the revelations that this has.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But here's the thing, Peter. I wanted to finish saying that this just happened in 1987. Looks like here January 3rd of 1987. That's not too long ago. So for me, when I'm looking at the video, learning about this human design, and seeing the person that was given this knowledge, I was like saying, wow, this is like a modern, in our lifetimes, we're able to see the flourishment of literally the way I perceive it. It's aliens or God himself, whatever it is, has given this person to give us our manual, our blueprint. So
but remember that this is based on ancient wisdom. It's not new wisdom.
No, it isn't.
It's a new interpretation of ancient wisdom.
Correct.
Using the Chinese
modernized,
using chakras.
It's like put everything together, modernizing, using our technology very recently. So when I will say to everyone, I'm pretty still amazed, and this will be a life journey for me. Like a lot of us that are on these paths, this is not, let me go learn this, and the next day or the next week or the next year, I know everything about it. No, this is a life course. This is a journey that would help you. And again, I definitely could have used this 20, 25 years ago because, again, we are making so many mistakes and stuff. And like I said before, the lights are out, in the stadium, and we're stumbling all over, pitch black. We're stumbling all across all these barriers and stuff. And right now, you know what? This is a possibility that the lights can dimly be turned on, and you can start seeing ahead where you can just see ahead and see all your obstacles. And again, everyone, please, you have a person like Peter right now. He is an interpreter. He's able to read these charts like he did with me. And again, everyone, I have talked before in the past that you have to find the right chiropractor. You have to find the right mechanic. You have to find the right hair cutter. And, and realistically, that's just the reality. Who you vibrate with, what that person is able to channel or to process the information within themselves. And definitely for me, Peter, he has shown me, and this is why I'm doing the show with him, and I guess we're coming, time goes up fast. We'll probably do a couple more shows on it because it's so amazing, like I did with astrology, that Peter definitely can guide you and definitely can give you great insights. So, Peter, yes, I'm grateful to you and our audience and our people, since this goes out globally and everything, people from all over the world as well. Find the right person.
Reach me. And people can reach me from all over the world. And actually, I do chart. As you know, I've done a lot of chart readings.
Over 2,000?
Yeah, over 2,000 of them.
Yeah.
And over many, many years. And I often will do them on Skype or on the phone. And I can email with people, sending them their charts, and they can see them, and then we talk about them, and I give them all the details. And it's quite remember how long this session I did with you was?
Yes.
It's quite elaborate.
Yeah, because and I was asking a whole bunch of questions and all that, almost 2 hours.
It goes for a couple of hours. And so, people need to, also respect my time, and
Yes.
and that's why I charge for it.
Yes, correct.
And not everybody can afford that, but I try to be reasonable, but I also have to pay my rent.
Yeah.
So I really put a lot into it. I actually usually work about half an hour to 45 minutes before I do a chart reading, analyzing it in detail so that I can be ready to do the session with people. And
it was amazing, everyone. I did, again, this is why, this is just, Peter, you and I with this just happened to me recently, last week, and I'm still at awe. I'm still processing. I'm still learning, and more I'm learning about myself, and thank you so much, and God bless how, you got me on this path to see this incredible human design. So, and by the way, by the way, everyone, too. Go ahead.
That years ago, when I first started working with this, maybe it was a year or two after I was working with it, Gary Null asked me to be on his show talking about it and talking about his design, and we did 5 shows about it.
Wow. I can see that.
Yeah, it was so much to say, specifically, about Gary, and when I worked with you, specifically about you. It's not generalizations. We're generalizing a lot today because we're not analyzing a chart today. We're just talking about how the system works. But when I do chart readings, the whole time is packed with particular information about the person who's receiving the reading, and how unique that person's traits are for them to learn about themselves.
What about health? I mean, it's like health, one of the most important thing is what you eat. And the chart gives you kind of your unique manual, gives you what you should eat. And we talked about that, and it was really amazing because I'm able to eat whatever I want as long as it's good. And that's the way I perceive food. If it isn't good, tastes good, whatever, that's what my design says, then I don't use it. I think about it, until before I say, that's like me.
The food strategy of human design is based on what particular strategy makes your enzymes happy so that they take care of you properly. So for you, if food doesn't taste good to you, it doesn't matter the quality. Certainly you don't want to eat bad quality food.
Yeah.
But you don't. If you go out of your way to eat certain foods that are supposed to be good for you and you don't like the taste of it, your enzymes won't appreciate it, and the food won't do any good for you.
Yeah,
but that's your strategy versus many other strategies that people have.
And so it goes on. I mean, this whole thing. By the way, everyone, along with it, you get a chart that's unique to you that Peter will provide. And which is really great. He does it all, through computers, through emails and stuff. So you'll be able to print out your chart and stuff and see it there in front of your computer, print it out like I did. And it's all there. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of information. And the best part of it, too, that he records it. So he does send you your file, which I have. And again, everyone, time, we're running out of time. We barely have any time for ourselves. We get into Christmas and stuff. But, I need to review that incredible information that Peter, told me about myself, what my chart says. So I'm beginning to see glimpses more and more about myself in that. And it's pretty amazing, like what foods I eat and business, how I am. And it's pretty amazing. So people definitely.
What about your location?
Huh?
Your ideal location in life.
What about it?
Remember that you're in a cave.
Oh yeah, again, everyone. I'm like I'm in a cave, and this is part of my system. Again, there was so much information, everyone, and so many glimpses of yourself. Like myself, that you would see through this reading of this chart of this human design, that definitely it's going to take me, probably weeks to go over and assimilate and become it and be more aware of my blueprint, of my manual. So again, and this is what everyone, listening to the show that you have, access to, in reference to this incredible system. So it's pretty amazing.
Hopefully we can do another show or two.
We will.
We can talk about how the mechanics of it work. You know, what it shows in general, even in particular for you if you'd like, but in general so people can see the kinds of things it would offer them in detail about how their minds work, how they express themselves, how they know themselves, what their ego is like, how they deal with emotions or not. Everyone's different. It even tells us about our sexuality, tells us about our survival instincts, and also what we're able to initiate in life or not energetically. The kinds of power we hold or not. Some people hold power in their energy. Other people hold power in their thoughts. Other people hold power in other beingness ways that many others don't. So we're all you have a trait that actually attracts people to you, to listen to you and want to hear you, and so you were born for people to want you to speak, and that really is a wonderful opportunity. That there's a lot of people, they don't know what they're born for, and this tells you what your purposes are and how people see you. It's nice to know what the traits are that people read into you, project about you. How do they talk behind your back about you, in good ways. They say, that Alex, he really gets his points across. All right, well, it's nice to know that. And then, other people have different traits that people talk about. So it's nice to know. In my chart, it says that people think that I enrich them. And I believe that's true because all the radio shows and the chart readings and I also am an intuitive. So a lot of people hire me to use my intuition for them.
Yes.
I'm a medical intuitive as well. I've even done shows with Gary Null about my medical intuition. And that was really nice that, we did that not long ago. And so there are a lot of ways that I'm here to enrich people, and it's in my design to be seen that way. So, I can't help but be that way because I'm designed that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing. Again, everyone, this is definitely the next stage, and it will be a lifetime journey to start really knowing, yourself. And thankfully, this has happened, very recently. 1987. 1987 is right around the corner. It just passed. And here's a person that was this incredible bank of ancient knowledge and modernize and and he was able to process and have all this. And now with our technology, we're able to start taking advantage of this. I mean, for me,
I was in the right place at the right time to study with him.
Yeah, and you did, and that's the next thing. You did mention that you did. He has passed on. He passed away not too long ago, but you were with him, and you have met with him and all, which is great. It's like a lot of us, I guess throughout the world and here in the U.S. stuff, would love to know Gary Null, or love to know personally, Peter Roth. A lot of people would love to know probably me. I don't know who, but probably would. But I definitely, we've been blessed. So again, this is kind of a source here. And Peter, you met with him personally and stuff. I never did. I wish I could have. I met you years ago, so again, and with Gary and stuff and all, we're still friends and all that stuff. So, but again, this is kind of a technology that people should at least opened up and have an incredible person like yourself, that you're able to guide them. You know what? Saying all this, we're down to our last 2 minutes or so of the show, and you can see that's why we're definitely going to have another show for next week.
Let's have people know how to find me.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask. Exactly.
Yeah, good.
Where can people find you?
Well, my email is peter@heartriver, HEART, river.org, and my website is heartriver.org, and my phone number is 212-222-7748.
Great.
And,
can you say the phone number again so people can?
212-222-7748.
Great. And your website, it's like your heart and
right, Heart River, HEART river.org.
Yes, and people can go to the website. You can see Peter there. You can see the heart design. And next week we'll do definitely another show and probably another show in reference, because we just touched the surface, everyone.
Yeah,
right,
thanks
Peter?
so much, Alex. It's so much fun talking with you.
Great, me too, Peter. Everyone, thank you so much, Peter. Everyone, goodbye, everyone. We'll continue with the show. Till next week, everyone. Thank you, and God bless everyone. Bye-bye.